Good evening. It is Friday evening. I just arrived home back in Rochester, came home from St. Paul this afternoon, but wanted to check in and share a brief update on my week in St. Paul. I had 3 bills heard in committee this week. The first was in housing around the Challenge program, which is it's flexible funding to really get building jump-started in communities. It is tailored towards the workforce housing and the affordable housing that is needed in specific communities. Excellent funds that are really useful in terms of making progress on our housing needs, which we know those exist in every corner of our state. The second bill I had heard was in the Elections Committee. It was around creating a working group to look at the campaign reporting structure for local candidates. So folks running for city council, for school board, looking at currently they report locally to city clerks in every communities across the state. So really take the task force, the short-term work group, would take a look at that and say, is that really the right thing, or should they perhaps report centrally to the campaign finance board? That would take some work off local city clerks who have many other things to do, and it would provide sort of central resources. The campaign finance board are the experts of that. They could be really resources to both candidates and treasurers who do amazing work, often on a volunteer basis. Shout out to City Council member Nick Miller, who sent in a letter of testimony just sharing his experience as a local candidate. And then the third bill I had heard in the Human Services Committee was about presumptive eligibility for Medicaid, which really just talks about, we do a newborn screening for babies. We screen for about 60 disorders for newborns, and for rare diseases oftentimes. And this bill says that when a newborn gets screened and screens positive for one of the disorders that will make them eligible for Medicaid, that coverage starts right away, that they don't have to wait for the long process that can sometimes happen for that Medicaid coverage to begin, because oftentimes with those diseases, treatment is needed right away, really in order to have the treatment be workable. And so knowing that they are eligible, it just speeds up that process and allows them to get the care that they need. The last thing I will mention is I had a press conference this morning with the Attorney General, Keith Ellison, and my partner in the House, Liz Ryer. We worked together last session on the Debt Fairness Act, and we launched today our work for this session around medical debt, the Medical Debt Reset Act. I will talk more about that in another video in the future. I'm very excited for that work. We are looking to secure $5 million, which will eliminate $500 million of medical debt for Minnesotans. So really excited to talk more about that in the future. But we'll end there for today. Reach out if you have questions, and I hope you have a great weekend.